Hey guys, you never guess where I'm at. I am actually visiting my Uncle Ken at his house, and we've been talking, and I want him to share a little bit of his story. Um, if you're in my Facebook group, you may have heard this because I just went live in my Facebook group. But my Uncle Ken, he actually sold for Schick back in the day. What years were you sold?
Oh, 20 years ago.
It had to be more than that.
It was more than that.
Was it before? Anyways, um, he's sold for Schick back in the day, and again, it's just one of those coincidences, right? So, we've been talking about it, and he wanted to share a little bit of his story uh, about selling for Schick, and I mentioned I'll share it on my YouTube channel for all of you guys. But what a coincidence, right? Like my uncle sold for Schick. Incredible. And anyways, so this is my Uncle Ken, and let me show you real quick a picture of some of the stuff that I got. So here's some of the razors that I got, and he'll actually go over them a little bit more, selling for Schick. But this is my Uncle Ken, and pretty incredible. What's the chances
Yes.
that you sell for Schick? And then your nephew has a shaving company.
Yes, that is amazing.
So tell us a little bit about your experience with Schick or these razors.
Well, I was a salesman for Schick Safety Razor Company back in the 70s and 80s. I was with this company for quite a few years as their representative, and I sold, back at that time, the Schick Injector was our #1 item, and here is one of our Schick Injector razors with some blades in it, in a little package that we had and marketed as the Schick Injector blade and razor. So I was a razor blade salesman, and I really enjoyed it. I traveled about into 3 states as a salesman for Schick Safety Razor, and these blades were some of the blades that I had in my line was the Schick Injector razor blades. And these were the top blades that we had. We had double edge and we had injector blades. And Schick was known for the injector razor and blades. That was our #1 product. And I was a salesman and traveled about and sold these very products, the Schick Safety Razor products. And we had the double edge and we had the injector. And it was later on that we introduced the Super 2 razor. This was a later one. Toward the end of my career, Schick came out with the cartridge, the Super 2 razors and blades that were a cartridge that were not even known when I first started with Schick Safety Razor Company. We didn't have anything as advanced as these simple little cartridges that worked so well and very nicely. So
What do you shave with today?
I shave with a Schick razor and blade, just like this one here, because I like them. I never
Cartridge or injectors?
I use the injector, and I also use the Super 2. That's the two I use. But I have never liked the double edge. That's just something I never did really like. And I know that's been the kind of the standard bearer of the shaving industry for 100 years or more than 100 years, was the old double edge razor and blade. And I sold those, but I didn't really like them for my own personal use.
So you worked for Schick, but you have 2 of these razors here that are Gillette. So what's the story? How did those come into your possession?
I don't even remember. I don't remember how I came across these. They were left in my returns box at one of the accounts, and I just happened to pick them up because they were there, but they weren't mine. And I don't even know if a Gillette salesman had left them in the wrong place or whether somebody else had put them razors. And now I'm going to give them to Richard Hansen because I don't even want them. He likes them. I don't. They're not my favorite
It
product.
seems, I think we talked years ago. Didn't you tell me like you gave, the stores had them for a long time and you just gave them credit or something for them?
Yeah, I did. I gave them credit for it even though they weren't mine because they were left there and had been there for a long time. And I would go in and clean up my return product. Usually they were ones who were damaged or had things spilled on them in the store, and so they would throw them in a box to be returned. And I just happened to find them in mine, and I gave the store credit for these two razors, even though they weren't mine. I felt I could give them the credit as if they had been my products. But that was the only two Gillette products that I remember ever picking up, and they were just left in my returns box. But
Wow.
Good business. Men really have come through a long history of shaving with straight razors. And back when there was just a big old blade that they would strop and sharpen and shave their face with a big blade that was very, very sharp, but very, very aggressive. And men could really cut themselves with those old straight razor blades. Now these kinds of blades, especially these, are really well protected. You won't hurt yourself shaving with these newer types. They're very nice. And the injector is the same thing. It's protected. The blade is protected inside of the cartridge. And so you don't have that full exposed blade. Just a tiny little bit of the edge of it is what reaches your skin and shaves the beard.
Wow. So all these years later, and can still shave.
I can still,
they made them to last.
They made them to last.
And they made them good, huh?
They made the quality. They made these razors and blades way back in those years, back some years ago, of the highest quality steel. And they made them to last, and they did. And they still hold up. I can use these blades and razors today, right now, that I got years ago. They're still holding up, and the blades last. You get a lot of shaves out of one of the Schick injector blades. I could get quite a few shaves out of one blade because they really were made of the best steel.
So all these years later, and you're still shaving with your same products and still getting great shaves.
I still shave with the same products I've had for all those years, and they've held up after all these years. That's my story.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Uncle Ken. I appreciate you taking a minute and sharing that little story with us, that history. Incredible. What are the chances, right?
Yeah.
Incredible, right? So again, what are the chances?
Yeah. Well,
it's
amazing.
What you can call it a coincidence.
Well, it isn't. It isn't a coincidence.
But yeah, so all these years he's held on to this Fat Boy right here, Gillette Fat Boy, and this Gillette Black Beauty. And today he gave them to me, and I'm excited for these. In fact, I think I'm going to send this to Razor Emporium to have it rhodium plated, which will make it even better than it was originally, better than new. So it's going to be incredible. So I'm excited about that. I came here not expecting to get this big haul, but I got these injector blades and
the Super 2 cartridge.
Yeah, some of his product that he's had, original, still in the packaging.
That's one of the best handles we ever made. That little on there,
tennis racket.
It's like a mini tennis racket. Was one of the nicest handles to use because it didn't slip. Some handles, when your hand's wet from shaving and bathing, a lot of those handles will slip. That one didn't. That one was a very stable handle.
Awesome. What a story. Anyways, once again, thank you, Uncle Ken. Thanks. Appreciate it. I'm going to put this up, and people will be able to watch it forever.
My pleasure.
All right. Take care. Thank you.